All right, now, Patriots, it does not matter what state you live in. What's going on in California impacts the entire country in a major way. And you may or may not be aware of what's going on in California. But right now, Gavin Newsom and the Democrats, those radical leftists in California, are literally spearheading an attempt to steal back Congress in the midterms. And let me explain why. Right now in California, they have a piece of legislation. It's called Prop 50. And you may have heard of it, but what Prop 50 is for, Prop 50 is for them to take the power away from the independent redistricting commission and put it in the hands of the Democrat Party. Now, in this video, you may say, well, Brian, why is this a big deal? I'm going to show you why this is a big deal. Because if Gavin Newsom and the Democrats are able to remove Republican seats and steal 5 more House seats, especially with the slim majority we already have, that could be a really big problem. Because if the Democrats take back the House in the midterms, everything that President Trump has been working on, the America First, everything will stop. They'll start the whole impeachment, investigations, witch hunt all over again. And Prop 50 is how they're trying to do that. Now, they're trying to say that it's due to what Texas is doing. But here's the kicker. Texas isn't changing any legislation. Texas is just deciding to do their redistricting now rather than at the end of the decade. That's it. They're not changing any laws, any of that. They're just taking advantage of the fact that the Democrats had gerrymandered the state when they were in power. And Republicans are saying, hey, listen, man, in these Democrat districts, they got all of these little bitty districts, but in the Republican districts, they're just huge, super big and wide, meaning 1 or 3 representatives for a large portion of the state, while the small gerrymandered areas get 10, 15, 20 different congressional members from this small, condensed, deep blue Democrat area. And we know how that goes. In those deep blue areas, they don't do much research or care about what's going on. And they play on the ignorance. When I say ignorance, only mean lacking information of their voters. This is why the Democrats want the educational system to fail. If people don't know the definition of a fascist, you could just point to somebody and call them that, and they'll say, yeah, without realizing what Gavin Newsom and the Democrats are doing in California is identifying with fascism. What Joe Biden did, forcing people to take jabs. If people didn't agree, they get censored. These type of things, people lose their job if they didn't want to put poison in their body. That's fascism. But when people don't know the definition, they can say Trump is a fascist because he wants to kick illegals out. And people say, yeah, a fascist, Hitler. And it's like, what? So in this video, I got clips to show you not only about Prop 50, but who is helped backing it. And you already know one of your least favorite Democrats is involved, Barack Hussein Obama. Now, right here, as you see, Arnold Schwarzenegger is the biggest pushback against this Prop 50. And I know it's pissing Gavin Newsom off. Because remember, the Terminator is a former governor. And they passed the independent redistricting council while he was governor, which gave the power to the people. Now the Democrats want to steal it. And Arnold is against that. Matter of fact, wait till you hear what he calls it. As you can see in the article title, Real Time. This one he was on with Bill Maher. Arnold Schwarzenegger slams Prop 50 as a big scam. Says Dems should win because of their performance. Let me go through the article. It's really short. As California voters weigh Prop 50 ahead of the crucial upcoming midterm elections, Arnold Schwarzenegger appeared on Real Time with Bill Maher to campaign against the bill. Following Governor Newsom's election rigging response act, sparked by recent Texas redistricting efforts that benefit Republicans, Schwarzenegger told Maher he thinks that Prop 50 is a big scam, noting that there's gerrymandering going on all over. Now, remember, whatever the Democrats name a bill or an act, they're doing the opposite of that. Remember, they had the whole save, help the homeless. Homelessness got worse. Just an example. Do you know who I want to win? The people, he said. The people have to win. See, I'm a Republican, but I'm not a Republican hack. I'm not a political hack. I don't serve the party. I always serve the people. The people are first. Schwarzenegger continued, we cannot undo something and rip away the power that the people in California have and give it back to the politicians. We fought for that. We fought that for too long. Let's not do that. Let's be a good example. Let the Democrats outperform the Republicans and therefore, because of their performance, win and get the House back. Maher quipped, I don't think that's very realistic. The former governor went on to champion the independent California Citizens Redistricting Commission that was formed in 2010 with support from Schwarzenegger. Newsom previously trolled the twins, 90 actor, on social media in August when his co-star Danny DeVito contributed a $1,000 donation to the Yes on Prop 50 campaign. So they trolled him on the movie Twins. Now, here's the kicker with this. I'm gonna show you the ads, but I'm gonna show you also how California is actually setting up to cheat. Wait till you see what they're doing to their voters to cheat this thing. Now, listen to this from Barack. It's really short, but listen to this BS.
The whole nation is counting on you.
Former President Barack Obama has entered the Prop 50 chat.
Democracy is on the ballot November 4th. Republicans want to steal enough seats in Congress to rig the next election and wield unchecked power for 2 more years. With Prop 50, you can stop Republicans in their tracks.
As one of the most popular figures amongst Democrats nationwide, the Yes on 50 campaign is banking on Obama to turn out its base.
Return your ballot today. Vote yes on 50.
If approved, California's U.S. House districts would change dramatically, putting 5 incumbent Republicans at risk of losing their seats to Democrats. All initially proposed in response to Texas gerrymandering its maps to advantage congressional Republicans in the 2026 midterms. On the no side,
2 bad behaviors don't make a right behavior.
The highest profile Republican endorsement comes from former Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger.
This is why it is important for you to vote no on Proposition 50.
Who led California's push for adopting an independent redistricting commission in the first place. With historically lower turnout in special elections, it will come down to a numbers game.
To make sure that we turn out every single Republican and everybody knows to vote no on Prop 50.
Both parties revving up canvassing and ads in the final weeks. And turnout will be critical, as voter registration data shows Republicans making statewide gains. Democrats gained a net increase of just 190 registered Democratic voters, whereas the GOP saw a net increase of more than 48,000 registered Republicans. Monica Madden, ABC 7 News.
Isn't it crazy how just 15 years ago, California was looked at as like a great place to be. People wanted to live there, even though it was starting to decline, but not like it has in the last 7 years. If you're enjoying this video, do me a solid, hit that thumbs up, because I will never trouble you about a Cash App or a Super Chat. But you hitting that like button, it definitely helps the channel. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. And whether you're already subscribed or subscribing now, make sure that you hit the notification bell and select all. YouTube has issues with the notifications, but when you select all, YouTube will make sure you get notified when I upload new videos. When Arnold was there, Hollywood was still pumping. Things were still going. They did the independent redistricting committee. The fact that there was even a Republican governor in 2010 blows my mind when you see it, just how far left it went now. Now, let's look at this. This is an ad that's running in California promoting Prop 50. And then we're going to get into what's really going on the ground, what the people feel about it, and how the Democrats are trying to cheat. And you're going to hear what Arnold actually had to say. Check this out.
Okay, hold on, I'm getting something here. Breaking news out of California tonight. The results are in, and voters have just passed Prop 50.
What?
This is a major blow to Donald Trump and his chances of holding on to power next year.
Stop the
That's right,
count.
Liz, because if he loses the House, Congress
did you
will
do
have
this
the
to
power to
Trump?
block Trump, investigate him for corruption, and even release the Epstein files.
You want to stick it to Trump? Vote yes on Prop 50. I hate California.
Did you notice that they had the Trump Epstein photo right there on the stand and the McDonald's fries? Now, here's the kicker. Gavin Newsom in his state has passed a law, 10-year law, which allows minors to be able to engage in adult activity. You know what I'm talking about, with an adult, as long as they're within 10 years. So if you're 14 and you say it's okay, a 24, a 23, a 22, a 21, a 20-year-old can, have relations with you as long as you gave them the okay. If you're 12, somebody 22, 21, 20, 19, it's cool. If you're 10, somebody 20, 19, 18, it's totally fine. And he wants to put up an Epstein photo, as if in California, they're not already trying to pass legislation to protect PDF files. It's calling it, what did Katie Porter, the congresswoman from California that lost her mind on the CBS anchor and cussed out her staff? She says it's a disease, or no, she called it a sexual preference or orientation, not what it is, which is a disgusting criminal act. But that's California. I just didn't like the whole Epstein picture. Now, let's get off into the real meat and potatoes, into the game. Now, here's what the people think about it. Now, this gentleman right here, this is Steve Hilton. And you may not be familiar with Steve Hilton, or you might be. Steve Hilton, if you recognize his face, he's appeared on Fox News as a contributor, and he's a British-American political commentator, okay? And he's also a gubernatorial candidate. He's running for governor. Let me get it back here. Now, listen as he breaks down what Prop 50 really is. And then I'm going to let you hear from one of the people on the ground, but wait till you hear how they're trying to rig it. Check this out.
You may have seen Gavin Newsom's disgusting, lying ads on TV about his illegal, unconstitutional, corrupt scheme to rig the elections in California by gerrymandering the districts so they can cheat. It's called Proposition 50, and what it does is take the power to draw electoral districts in California away from what you voted for, the Citizens Independent Districting Commission, and put it in the hands of Gavin Newsom and his cronies in Sacramento to draw the maps. Unbelievably, in these ads, they are actually saying that this scheme protects independent redistricting. That is a lie. And so today, I am writing to every media organization, informing them that by broadcasting this lie, they are deliberately, maliciously misleading people in California. And so we have written a legal letter demanding that they take down Gavin Newsom's lying ads.
All right. Now, here's the kicker about this whole thing. The people have been digging, and guess what? They found out who's paying for the maps that Gavin Newsom wants to pass Prop 50 to institute. We know who paid for the Proposition 50 maps with a high degree of confidence. The Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee paid Redistricting Partners, LLC, $108,333.33 on August the 20th, according to the FEC reports. And it appears to be a partial payment. In all, this whole redistricting attempt is costing California between $250 and $300 million. Now, that's not even the kicker. I want to give a big shout out to the sponsor of this video, Chapter. And here's why. When my mom hit 65 years old, I watched her get bombarded with mailers, cold calls, and all these confusing ads about Medicare. And every single company pretended like they wanted to help her, but really they were just trying to sell her stuff. It seemed like the game was rigged and she was not supposed to win at all. And that's why I'm so excited to share information about Chapter with all of you. Now, who Chapter is? Chapter is a free Medicare advisory service that compares Medicare plans available, and they give you real, unbiased guidance. Chapter is completely independent and always puts customers first. Their whole focus is all about making sure that their customers, the seniors, get the right Medicare plan. And it's clear that they're making a real difference in the lives of seniors. So if you want real, unbiased help with Medicare, give Chapter a call at 402-527-1253. You'll talk to a real person who will help you figure out exactly which plan is right for you and has saved the average senior $1,000 a year. So I'm going to put the number here on the screen for you to be able to contact, or if you visit the website, go to askchapter.org/realpolitics. Check out what they're doing to steal the election, to cheat with it. And then I'm gonna let you hear what Arnold had to say, because he went crazy on CNN. But check this out. Watch this video.
Vote is cast right here. Put the ballot in this way.
Did you see that? So in the envelopes that they sent out, it clearly shows whether you selected no or yes. Now, why would that need to be on an envelope for the person going through the ballots to be able to see whether you voted no or yes? That's rigging, because what would they do with the pieces that put no? Where do those go? Do they go in the trash? Now, keep in mind, too, that California is #1 in a whole lot of things. Let's look at it. California is #1 in homelessness, poverty, addiction, gas prices, income tax, gas tax, budget deficit, retail theft, citizens exodus, COVID mandates, COVID school closures, COVID business closures, illegal immigration, funding illegal immigration, illiteracy, wage stagnation, frivolous lawsuits, worker restrictions, and anti-business regulations. That California. And Gavin Newsom wants the people to trust him with the power to do what he sees fit with the congressional maps. And we already know that the Democrat committee is paying for it. Now, here's what you've been waiting on. Check out what Arnold Schwarzenegger had to say on CNN, because he blasted this thing and is pissing Gavin Newsom and the Democrats off, because he's a former governor and he did the state right. I think 83% of the people voted for this thing when it passed initially. So check this out.
What's your view in terms of what should happen nationwide when it comes to redistricting?
Well, first of all, in California, it's a big mistake to go and to dismantle and to basically kind of get rid of the independent redistricting commission under the auspices of we got to have more power than the Republicans. And we got to fight Trump. Because, yes, they are fixing the elections in Texas. But that does not mean that California should fix the elections because of that. Two wrongs don't make a right. It's that simple. And whenever the politicians say that we're only doing this temporarily with the redistricting commission, with the independent one, there's no such thing with politicians and temporarily. Have you ever seen a tax that stopped? When they say this is just temporary, it is permanent. I am for the power of the people, not the parties. And therefore I say vote no on Proposition 50.
Because when I talked to Governor Newsom about this and about your conversation with him about this, he told me that he said to you, if we are not successful that there will be no more independent redistricting. The whole thing's over. He has no faith in President Trump in order to do fair elections if Republicans have all control. And he says that it is temporary. You don't buy what Governor Newsom's saying?
Of course not. Look, I've sat there in Sacramento. I've listened to the politicians for 7 years. They are not interested in giving any power to the people. The only interest that they have is to take power away from the people and grab it themselves. So this gives them a great opportunity by saying, oh, we have to fight Trump. Let's go and get rid of our democratic principles. Imagine, to fight for democracy and to get rid of your democratic principles. It doesn't make any sense. And plus, we have so many homeless people in California. And there they cannot do anything about it. But they're spending $200 million on a special election. I would rather give this money to the homeless people that really need it rather than to the politicians. Let's give the money to the people rather than the politicians. This is what this is all about. That's why I'm against Proposition 50. That's why I always will say nothing against Newsom. We don't have a fight over this at all.
Yeah, because you guys met. What was that like? When
it was a wonderful meeting. He told me what he felt. I told him, I said, I totally get it. Because this is what you need to do to be the leader of the party. I totally get it. But I'm not a party person, I said. I'm a people's person.
Are you going to be campaigning anymore? What's your role? Are you going to be doing interviews, going around the state, doing rallies? What's your role in this campaign?
No, I have no plan. All I wanted to do really is to come out and to say to the people, hold it. Before you go and vote, you should know this is a scam. And vote no on Proposition 50.
So potentially hundreds of millions of dollars could be spent on this fight over Prop 50, with right now Governor Newsom largely being the face of yes in ads and former Governor Schwarzenegger largely being the face of no.
So 200, really they said between 250 and 300 million spent on this Prop 50 while illegal immigration is going crazy, lawlessness is going crazy, homelessness is going crazy. It really shows you the priorities of the Democrat Party. It is all about power. And they lied to the people, oh, temporary. Just like back in 1913, when they instituted the national income tax, they sold it to the people that it would only be temporary, but it would only be on the top 1% at 1%. So they were going to top the tax the top 1% of the population in the country at 1% of their income. Look today, everybody's paying income tax as much as 6-7%. Everybody. So he's right. And this has nothing to do with Trump. See, the Democrats are smart. They use this fight with Trump. We're going to have probably the safest elections we've ever had with Republicans in control. The Democrats project. We know what they do. And see, it's kind of like a cheater. Like if somebody's in a relationship with somebody that's always accusing them of cheating, even though they're not doing anything, it's probably because this person knows how sneaky they are and how nobody's aware of what they're doing. So they believe everybody's like this. So they don't trust anybody. That's the Democrat Party. Now, listen to this last clip of him on Bill Maher. Now, what he's going to suggest here, I'm all for. It makes a lot of sense. And let's just see if it happens. Check this out.
We're talking here about saving democracy. What I suggest that the way we save democracy nationwide is to really have a proposal like, for instance, the Save Democracy Act. It's just an idea where we go and make Election Day a holiday, so that everyone has time to go out and go to the election.
Well, again, this is something Democrats are all for and Republicans are all against.
There's a second point.
Okay.
Second point, you have to have fair redistricting, to have independent redistricting commission in each state all over the United States.
Yeah.
And number three,
except they won't do it.
And number three, to have a voter ID. So that when you go and vote, people should know that you are that person.
Yes.
Those are all things that they have back in Europe.
Right.
So I come from Europe. I'm giving you just ideas, not that I created those ideas. Those are things that are happening in Europe and have happened for centuries.
Now, the ideas were great. And I think where he might have lost people is when he said he got it from Europe. You know, taking any idea from Europe with the way that what's going on over there and how jacked up it is over there. Kind of like free universal health care, right? Or letting every illegal immigrant in. It's destroying Europe right now. But the voter ID and the national day. And see, this is the thing about Bill Maher I can't stand. It's like he shows you that he got some sense. And then it's like somebody smacks him in the back of the head and say, hey, now don't forget who's paying you. And then he slithers back into this liberal BS. He's standing there saying Republicans don't want a national holiday. I've never heard Republicans be against making election day a national holiday. If I'm not mistaken, I've heard President Trump suggest it before. Voter ID. For him to act like Republicans are against that when that's all Republicans have been screaming. It's Democrats that think black people in Atlanta don't have driver's license or too stupid to know how to go get an ID and go vote. And I'm not making this up or being funny. That was literally used. You know, that was literally said to justify why in Georgia there should be no voter ID requirement. And guess what? In Georgia in 2024, the voter ID requirement passed. And guess what happened? You had the largest turnout of African-American voters in the history of Georgia. So the Democrats try to use anything. Oh, we're fighting Trump, so let's do this to justify. And who does that? Communists do that. That is the socialist communist playbook. Okay, we're going to say that the cause is so great that you have to be willing to give up your civil liberties to fight the cause. But what happens when the cause is gone? Those civil liberties are still gone too. You know when else we did that? And this was under conservative leadership with Democrat leadership in Congress, the Patriot Act. And see, people blame Bush for the Patriot Act, but who controlled Congress? But he signed off on it. It passed. We gave up our civil liberties because we thought we had this huge enemy in Iraq. And then guess what happened? After that was over, they didn't give us the civil liberties back. As a matter of fact, they used it to spy on us, tap our phones, do all of that stuff, all in the name of democracy. It's BS. So I just wanted to bring you this to let you know this impacts us. You have to be up on this. If you know people in California, get them to vote no. But did you see those envelopes? How can anybody not believe this is going to be rigged? But they have voter rolls. You know how many voters it is in that state. And so if it just comes out where overwhelmingly the no's have it, but the numbers don't make sense, well, I don't know what can be done because it's a liberal state government there. It is far left there in California. And that's why they want to do this gerrymandering, because they want to remove 5 Republicans out of the House. And hopefully the Californians don't let them. I don't know if I have a lot of faith in it, but I do have faith in the Most High God. And I know he sees what's happening. So I pray for them that they get it right and keep it right. But I just wanted to bring you this. And if you've hung out and stayed in there with me, I thank you from the top and bottom of my heart. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this. If you haven't already, hit that like button. If you aren't subscribed already, subscribe. Most importantly, I want you to stay safe and you be great. I'm Brian Maxwell saying I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.